we just discuss it, or just like?
Yep. I mean, we can discuss it as we name them off. Yeah.
So who wants to go first?
Wait, I'm sorry, I got distracted. We got trolls like that now?
Nah, yeah.
What?
I mean, it happens. It comes with the territory.
It does
That's what
happen.
I'm saying. That's how you know we getting big.
Hey.
We got motherfuckers like that coming in the chat.
It is true.
I ain't know that.
Thanks.
Okay. Anyway,
But yeah, top
wanna
10 of the
do-
decade. Who want to go first?
y'all want to each name one?
No.
Go around.
No, that's gonna be too
forever.
long.
It's
Just making
way
sure.
too long.
Just start from 10 and go to your go from 10 to 1.
Make sure.
So who want to go first?
Let the chat choose. Yo,
Yeah.
who y'all want to go
Let
first?
the chat, yeah.
No, they gonna
And
take
then
it.
we'll
Take time.
we'll
Take
go
it.
around
They gonna take-
counterclockwise.
Yeah, they are.
They
They're
gonna
gonna
pick
pick Tyler.
You already know.
Watch.
Y'all are
first name,
coercing the
Tyler.
chat.
Watch.
They gonna pick me.
I'm like Tyler.
Tyler.
TB. See, why I gotta be last? Got the best for last.
All right, we'll do a Koi Kids selection there. So, Tyler, let us have it.
All right. Let me pull this up right
Ha! See, these stupid. Queens first, so easy.
Got him.
Oh man.
All right, so my top 10 games of the decade. So first of all, I need to give an honorable mention to Assassin's Creed 2 because it came out in November of 2009,
That's a good one.
and I really wanted to include it, but of course I can't. But I still got to give it a shout out because I spent so much of 2010 playing that because I was actually surprised because in my head I was like, oh, I was playing that in 2010, and then I looked and I saw November 2009, so it was like fucking 45 days early, but
Yeah.
I still got to give it an honorable mention.
Okay.
My man SEO.
Huh?
My man SEO.
Right?
I play a lot of
My
Assassin's
man
Creed.
SEO.
Her man SEO. Her man SEO.
No, that's just a call back to the. That's
Okay,
a call
I
back to
remember.
the one.
I remember. That's why I apologize. Her man SEO.
So if you all have not seen that, you can find that on our YouTube where we talk about our video
Waifus,
games.
Tyler,
Husbandos.
I think I've never seen Tyler laugh so hard that whole time we was recording that
That's
video.
like my favorite like content that we did like ever. So yeah, so if y'all have not seen that, you can find it on our YouTube page. Anyway, so number 10 goes to Detroit Become Human. And I didn't actually finish it, but I have to put it on here because you have the fucking Renaissance Center and Ambassador Bridge and the Fist of Detroit. Like
everything.
that has to be on my list just because just seeing my city portrayed that way. Just yeah. So that has to be on my list. Huh?
Didn't that game have like domestic violence or something in it?
So number
I'm sure it wasn't in a positive light.
Damn, man,
To defend the game, I'm sure it wasn't like smack this bitch to get points. Like it was probably like, oh, this is bad, and played a violin while it was happening. I'm sure.
messed up, man.
That,
I'm just asking.
I'm sure it didn't endorse it.
I'm not trying to cast a
Wow.
doubt over anything.
The only one game on the list.
Right.
One game.
I'm just
Detroit,
asking.
become quiet, bitch.
wow.
I'm kidding.
Oh,
I'm kidding.
Lord.
Anyway, king asshole. Anyway,
Fix it, Jesus. Okay.
Fix it, Jesus.
All right, number 9.
Mhm.
Mortal Kombat 9 goes
Okay.
goes there.
All right.
The fact that it's both 9s was a coincidence. I didn't do that on purpose, but I can't remember. I want to say that was like 2011,
You are
2010,
correct.
2011.
You are correct.
Yeah,
Yep.
and the reason why that makes my list instead of Mortal Kombat 11 or anything like that is because I feel like that was really when Mortal Kombat kind of went back to its roots. Because like between that and like Mortal Kombat 3, there was a bunch of bullshit. You know what I mean?
Facts.
And,
Facts,
yeah,
facts,
Yeah,
facts.
yeah, yeah.
Deadly Alliance.
And so they went back to their, like, of course, they still had, like, 3D graphics, but went back to their 2D playing field because I felt like that's really when Mortal Kombat started sucking was when they started doing, like, the 3D, like...
MK4.
Right,
MK4
exactly.
on up, yep.
So, I remember being really excited when I found out that was dropping and they were going back to that and seeing, like, the trailers and the gameplay and then, like, going to Blockbuster is where I went to buy that at midnight.
Blockbuster was still around.
Yep, I was there at midnight for that midnight release, and we was all like, me and a bunch of other people standing in there, like playing it on the TV in there. So it was a lot of fun. It's a fond memory. So that definitely had to be on my list. Number 8 is going to go to Apex Legends, which was my game of the year for 2019. The reason why that's on here is the way they dropped was dope. Of course, like just no promo, and then everybody was on that shit, and it was just this kind of dope communal thing in the video game community of everybody playing this together. I just think it's a fire game. I spent a lot of time playing it last year. It's fun. Definitely the diversity and inclusion there of having like 2 black women, a non-binary character, like all of that. So they had to make my list for that. Props. And like I said, I sank a lot of hours into it. It's just fun. It's a fun game. Number 7. Am I going too fast? Good.
No,
speed?
No.
you're
Yeah,
good.
you good. You good.
Okay.
Good pace. Good pace.
Number 7 goes to Overwatch for me. Because
I'm surprised.
Yeah, also, it has to be on here somewhere because
Yeah.
I've spent so much time again. Like, that's definitely one of the criteria for stuff that made my list is like kind of looking back over the past decade. Like, what did I sink the most hours into? Of course, things like, oh, this is a work of art. Like, things like that come into play. But at the end of the day, what did I spend the most time playing? So, Overwatch, because of the like different characters and abilities and play styles, it was just something that I immediately got into. I got into it way later than when it came out. Like, I was a good 2 years late. But, a queen is never late. Everyone else is simply early. Number 6
Pop that collar.
goes to GTA 5, which I saw that I saw somewhere on the internet that was the highest grossing game of the decade, which makes sense.
It's still selling. That game came out in 2013.
Yeah, 2013. It came out.
And they still riding that
September
wave.
of
Yeah,
2013. I want to say.
And
it was like August.
Yeah, and the previous generation game systems too. PS3 and Xbox. Like they still riding that wave. That's crazy.
Yeah. Like 6 years later, people are still buying it. It's still damn near full price, especially if you want to get it with all like the DLC and all of that.
Yep.
So that had to make it on here like because of its continued relevance. I feel like it's so dope how they did that. I remember like I got it when it first came out. Played through the story. Of course, the story was dope, and Grand Theft Auto 4 sucked. So I was really happy that it kind of got back to where I could enjoy it as a franchise. But like I said, so I was playing online when it first dropped, like when they first opened online, and it sucked. So seeing how they just like made it better and better, and like I said, it's still relevant 6 years later. That's fire. So number 5, Saints Row 4. Okay, so for the record, Saints Row 4 is not my favorite game in the Saints Row franchise at all. But everybody knows Saints Row is one of my favorite franchises, and it's the only one that's come out since 2010. Actually, Saints Row 3 might have, but I like Saints Row 4 more than I like Saints Row 3. So that goes on my list. The thing is, like, even though it got kind of redundant and it didn't have the same flow or character as the earlier Saints Rows, it was fun to play. Like, just being able to like run real fast and jump on buildings and that kind of like Matrix-esque thing it had going on. It was fun, and I just love that franchise. So damn, they mad. I'm not gonna look at the chat because I'm gonna get distracted. So my number 4 game of the decade goes to BioShock Infinite. Anybody who has listened to this show for a while has heard me say that I feel like BioShock the original is a work of art, but it came out in like 2008, so can't be included on here. So I don't like BioShock Infinite as much as the first BioShock, but I gotta have a BioShock game on this list because if BioShock as a franchise do anything that can put together a fucking story, like the storyline in BioShock Infinite was fire, the gameplay, the combat, like I love the combat style of BioShock, and actually having a useful companion is always dope. We stand a companion that actually does shit. Number 3 goes to Fallout 4. Again,
it's not surprising. Yeah, it's not surprising. Yeah.
In terms of like what I think,
I think the games you've been saying so far is like not like what, like it's not surprising.
Yeah, so nothing has been surprising thus far.
No, nothing surprising so far.
Okay, cool.
Nope.
What just happened? Oh,
Pop filter on the couch.
So. Damn. Okay, yeah. Fallout 4. Again, sank a lot of hours into it. That's actually the reason why I finally upgraded from my 360 to an Xbox One is because it only came out on like that gen, and I was like, well, gotta do it. And I know a lot of people didn't like the building aspect of it, but I fucked with that super heavy because it kind of had this weird like it's The Sims in a post-apocalyptic wasteland at the same time as being Fallout. I don't know. I thought it was cool. So Fallout 4 gets number 3. Number 2, Destiny, the first Destiny. I wasn't even really interested in that game when it came out. Somebody bought it for me. They're like, oh, you'll like this. I'm like, okay, whatever. And I was immediately addicted. And I feel like one of the reasons why I was addicted is because it kind of filled that like Halo PvP void that had been in my life since Halo 3. Because I just didn't fuck with any of the Halos after Halo 3 like I did with that. So yeah, the first Destiny more so than the second Destiny because I like the first Destiny more, and we can't have both of them on the list. So Destiny 2 is cool, but I just don't think it's as good as the first Destiny. And my number 1 game of the decade, to the surprise of no one, is Fallout New Vegas.
Yep.
No way.
Right.
Not
right.
back.
You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, so your list was not surprising at all. Not surprising. Yeah. You was on board. You was Like all the games you was naming, I was like, yep.
Mhm.
You the next one? I'm like, yep. Like I know you love those games, so yeah, I know. Who's next?
It's you.
TB.
TBEW.
Do it to him.
All right,
One around.
all
what you
right.
got, B?
So at number 10, I got Near Automata. I saying that right?
No.
Near Automata.
Automata.
And I ain't even played the goddamn game, and I know the name.
Near Automata. That's my number 10. That's my number 10 spot. I was late onto that game.
You talked
But-
about that game for like
Yeah.
the whole first
Right.
50
Yeah.
episodes.
Yes, I was late on that game, but when I got hooked on that game, I was hooked. And yeah, that game is fucking amazing, man. That would be another dope game that PS5 can release on like release day or something like that, like a sequel to that.
I mean,
oh, man.
you gonna buy it anyway, so you gonna buy the new version.
Nope.
You gonna buy Near Automata Platinum Edition.
Shut up. Yeah, so that's my number 10. Like like Tyler said, a lot of these games is games that I like played a lot and put a lot of hours into. So yeah, Nier, that's definitely number 10 spot. Number 9, and I was just talking about this game a little earlier, Fight Night Champion. That game when they came out with Fight Night, for them to have that story mode, I think that story mode just put it over the top. Like
Yeah.
the boxing and the mechanics was already dope as hell, but the fact that you played through this whole story that was like a movie, Andre Bishop, like you just going through his whole rise and fall and rise again through the boxing world. It was so realistic. Like it was a story that can, like something like that can actually happen in real life. Like so, it wasn't like no oh man this is over the top and all that. Like it was a dope story. So yeah, and like I said, and I was really good at that game too. So I've been playing it and I'm like, yeah, my skill's still there. A little rusty, but it's still there. So yeah, number 9 at Fight Night Champion.
You know they got Andre Bishop at UFC 3.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
See, I don't even care for MMA games like that though.
Never mind.
Yeah. Sorry. Didn't mean to bust your bubble like that. You looked a little
You
disappointed.
ain't hurt my feelings.
Oh, you were like, never mind.
He doesn't
Solid
have
as
his
a
Durag
rock.
shield.
You said what?
So he
Yeah.
doesn't have his Durag shield, so it's like easier to
Oh.
wound him.
I'm just so vulnerable right now without my rag
know,
on my
right?
head.
At number 8, I have Fallout 4. Again, that's a game I played the hell out of when it was out. I mean, I was building so much shit in that
Right.
damn game.
I had so
Man,
much fun building settlements.
Yes,
but-
I was building a
That's
whole
not
bunch of
Fortnite.
shit, and y'all know my story of Fallout. Once I picked with the Brotherhood,
Oh, Lord.
everybody else was gone. Everybody else didn't matter.
You
So the
just
fact
slow
that
it down with
the
the
fact that
double
I can pick, different crews and act like I'm with them, and then kill them
Mhm.
all off, and then go to another crew.
His
Like,
face is just lighting up
man,
as
that
he's saying
shit-
this too.
That shit was
He's having
dope.
good flashbacks
Yeah,
right now.
yes, that shit was so dope,
And
man.
you tried to say I was bad
yes,
for letting people go.
but that was the past. I'm just talking about past shit.
Said that's the past. That's the old
That's the
beat.
old
That was last decade. Come on,
Right.
last decade. Come
Right.
on now.
That was last decade's BZ.
2017.
Okay. But yeah, Fallout 4 is definitely up there, man. Like the game was long as hell. I loved it. Story was kind of confusing, but it was still dope as hell. But yeah, I had my my power suit. I was like Iron Man in that bitch. I had that bad boy flying. I had the rocket on there. Man, I was putting a lot of hours into Fallout 4. So yeah, that's definitely. I was like, yeah, this got to go on my decade. Number 7, I have Spider-Man. Another awesome game. I mean, that was a game we talked about it a lot. We put a lot of hours in that joint. The DLC
Shit was dope.
joints, like everything, man. Getting all the suits, all the special abilities and everything, man. The story was dope. Boss fights was fun. So that's
Keep going.
that's definitely a decade, a best of decade. Number 6 is kind of like what?
No, you're good.
Go,
We're not
good.
talking
I'm
about
reacting
you.
to you.
You're good.
Oh,
Number 6. What's
Keep
number
it
6?
going.
Go ahead.
number
Go
6,
ahead, you good.
Batman Arkham City.
That's a good one.
That's another one where I was playing that shit like crazy. And the reason why I put it over Spider-Man is just because I feel like Batman was first. Like as far as the gameplay and like how the fighting and everything, mechanics.
It set
I'm
the
like,
tone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of set the tone. It was like the blueprint, and Spider-Man just took that shit to somewhere else. But yeah, Batman Arkham City. It's my favorite Batman. Arkham, like out of the whole, better than Arkham Asylum, man. Origins was cool. Yeah, Arkham Knight. I like Arkham City the best. Like that was my favorite one. Number 5, Horizon Zero Dawn. I think that's kind of like no surprise. I think a lot of y'all know how much I love that game. I'm waiting for a sequel. That should be another one that PS5 Sony should release for release day is Horizon Zero Dawn sequel for that one. Frozen Wilds. If folks that's listening or watching this, if you have not played the DLC expansion Frozen Wild, Please play
Yeah,
that.
shit is
You can
fire.
buy it for $12. You can buy the complete game for $12 now. So please, if you haven't played this game and you into that type of stuff, leveling up, skill trees, and all that open world, please get this game. It's an awesome game.
I haven't played it. Like I've had it.
You
since,
got
like,
time?
I've had it since like
You got
last year.
Hey, baby, you got
It
time,
took me
man.
a long time too.
You got time. You got time. So yeah, that's my number 5. Number 4, The Evil Within, the first one. Love that game, man. It's a love the action, love the craziness, the gore. Y'all know I love the gore,
You do?
killing. Yes.
Killer.
I ain't never heard you say that before. That's different.
Shut up.
You ain't never
But
said
yeah.
gore before.
But yeah, the gore, the crazy shit. Like it was one of them games where I haven't said like what the fuck while playing a game since like playing Silent Hill. Like you know you'd be like what the hell like that.
Yeah.
A horror game has not had me like that since Silent Hill, and this game definitely had me like that. I'm like, oh man, this shit is dope weapons, like everything, dope boss fights. That's one thing I love about the bosses was creepy as hell. That shit was creepy, and it was hard, and some of the boss fights were really hard and intense. So definitely got to put The Evil Within. That's my number 4. My number 3, I think this is no surprise, Borderlands 2. That game, man, that's almost like a GTA game, GTA 5 too. They rode that wave for a long time, and that game came out like in 2012, 2013, and all those expansions and re-releasing it, the Handsome Collection, and all that stuff they was releasing with Borderlands 2. Man, that game is fun as hell. It's still my favorite, even though I love 3, but 2 is like that's the one. Like that's the best one. That's the best shit. The best comedy on there. Like I feel like the comedy hit on that game out of all the other Borderlands. So Borderlands 2 at my number 3. Number 2, God of War. I was almost going back and forth between God
I already
of War,
knew. I knew.
this one
I
or
know, I know
3,
exactly
because
what.
3 was the shit. But this one, man, when this one
You gotta
came
go
out,
with the PS4.
I gotta
one.
go with the PS4 one, man.
You
Like
got to.
the way they revamped this damn game, and oh man, and the fact that you had your son. Like I'm glad they add that element to the game. And
Yeah,
like,
they made him more humanized Kratos a little bit more.
yeah, because in part 3 he was like, God damn, what the fuck this man can't do. But this one, it was just like, yo, this shit, the way the camera angles, like that's the boss fights, man, like I was going back and forth between that one and then of course my number 1. I think this is no surprise. I think
Drum roll, please.
drum roll.
B&B,
You
I
know,
already know.
you know what this
Go ahead,
is?
drop it
The
on B.
suspense is killing
Drop
me.
it on the B.
Just say it, please.
The Last of Us.
Damn.
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 The Last of Us. Come on now.
Who you,
Stop.
little Josh?
Stop. Yeah.
You
The
passed
Last of
Troy.
Us. Right. I mean, what more can you say about this game? All right, the story. You are so drawn in. This game literally had me like this. The TV screen would be right here. I'll be playing the game like this. I'll be playing the game like with the TV literally in front of my face because I'm going
Yeah,
crazy.
that's really bad for your eyes.
I know it is. It is. But you know what? I didn't care. But yeah, I don't know what else I can say about this game that I haven't said yet. I mean, I'm pretty sure folks that know me or like people that's been watching, listening, kind of had an idea that my number 1 would have been Last of Us of the decade. Like Last of Us was my game of the decade, like easily. It's like it's not even probably, it is my top 5 like all time. Like if I had to list all time games, Last of Us is in there. So of course it's gonna be my best game of the decade. So that's my top 10. Real quick, and we can all do this too if we want to. I do want to throw some honorable mentions because I'm pretty sure.
We
Well,
got
Tyler
we
already
all-
said hers, right?
Yeah, you did. You said
Yeah,
one.
she said
So
hers.
honorable mentions, real quick. I'm just gonna name them real quick. The First Division, the First Destiny. I agree with you, Tyler, on that. That's the First Destiny. I was playing the shit out of that. Dying Light, Uncharted 4, RE2 remake, and Star Wars Force Unleashed 2.
Cool. Force Unleashed 2 is this decade?
Yep.
I'm very surprised RE2 didn't make your list, man.
I was wondering if one of y'all was gonna say that. But yeah, I mean,
Is it because you played it before?
I think it's because it's a remake.
it's a remake.
It's not a real.
It's a remake.
That's why.
It's
So I
a
wasn't
remake.
surprised.
It's a remake. It's a remake. These games I played a lot more than RE2, surprisingly.
I'm so surprised.
Yeah, really. But it's a remake. Now, if it was original, if it was like an all new RE game, maybe.
But it basically is. I mean, it is. It's
Not
a
to
very
me.
remade
Not
game.
to me.
It's.
Not to me. I mean, I knew that. I know.
So did you disqualify it, or did you just not? You enjoyed it less than the other 10?
A little bit of both, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, a little bit of both.
Damn.
Yeah.
Ken said no Death Stranding, B.
Oh, you motherfucker.
That's Ken's number one.
No, No, he didn't just say that. You motherfucker. Who's next?
I can't believe that.
Who's next?
I'm next. All right, only 10 games to name. It'll be like what I've played. All right, so the first game
Let's
is.
see if your list gonna surprise me or not.
I really don't know
It
what
might.
the list going to be.
It's honestly gonna be like, I feel like it's gonna be a combination of all of our lists in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like the DEG Voltron out here.
Oh, stop.
Oh wow.
Stop.
Don't even.
All right, anyway, number 10 is a game that enthralls you with its characters. It's in a genre that I tend to not care for too much, mainly only when it comes to video games. That game is Mass Effect 2. The characters are just like dope as shit in that game, and the RPG elements were in the sweet spot where it wasn't too RPG-ish, but it wasn't too.
That's my favorite Mass
action-focused.
Effect out of all of them.
2 is the GOAT.
Yeah, 2 is the best one to me.
Coming in at number 9 is The Last of Us. I have a lot of great memories with this game.
Why you shake your head?
Oh,
It's
no.
number 9.
No.
Nah.
That's,
Yeah,
But
like
you know, I respect it. I respect
Yeah.
it. It's
Yeah,
on
man.
the list. It's on the
It's
list.
on the list.
At least it's on the list.
and it's on the list mainly because of course, the way the narrative plays out, more than the gameplay itself. I like the gameplay, but it was definitely like, I don't know. I just have a lot of memories of just like, hey, like my girl being like, yo, don't play The Last of Us without me watching. Like, it was that kind of experience. So it's just like, oh, dope. Number 8, Arkham City. The best out of the Arkham franchise. The best boss fights. Again, like Mass Effect 2, that middle game, having the balance of room, but not too much room.
Yep.
There's no Batmobile shit. It's just, you can just grapple everywhere, and then it's dope as shit. Number 7, Doom 2016. Game that I can be like Beezy. I can have a Beezy day. I don't want to think about shit. I just want to murder everything in my path. Doom 2016. Number 6. This game kind of introduced me to modding, but before it did that, I was already in love with the franchise, Fallout 4. This game I played the fuck out of, and once I was able to have lightsabers and be Iron Man and Batman and have 2 dogs and goddamn 3 companions behind me, the game was just even better. Number 5 is God of War 2018. Beautiful game, great voice acting, just great presentation all around. The boss fight with Baldur, like, I was sold at that point right there. Number 4 is Spider-Man PS4, coming above Batman because I think it did what Batman did but improved upon the formula, making traversal just as fun as combat. Number 3, you saw it coming, Persona 5. The most stylish game of the decade. Fucking Miyamoto said he was inspired by Persona 5 to make Smash Brothers UI look as cool as it does. If you look at my watch, my fucking car stereo, my laptop background, Persona 5. That's because the shit just sounds great. It made every other RPG I played worse. Word to Sonny.
Wow.
Yes, literally. I love Tales of Vesperia. Went back and played that shit after Persona 5. I'm just like, it's missing something. It was missing that style. It was missing the great presentation, man. Number 2.
That's unfortunate. Go ahead.
Yeah, but it's still fun. He said that's unfortunate. Number 2, Smash Ultimate, the ultimate fighting game. It's the game that came out great and just continues to get better. Like, we don't know what kind of Christmases we have ahead of us. Not literal Christmases, but what games will just, like, what characters are just going to be included in this game. And of course, more Joker is in there. So more Persona 5 music follows me wherever I go, and I can play it on the toilet. Number 1.
All right.
Probably the game I put the most time into this decade. Probably, Elder Scrolls 5, Skyrim.
I was waiting for you
Really?
to say.
Love it.
I was waiting for you
I'm
to
trying
say.
to think. I don't even remember you talking about that
I
game.
talked
I've
about
heard
it
him
on
talk
our-
about it
for the
before.
YouTube video. I
Oh,
talked about it.
okay.
But that
I
game
was
came out
actually
in like
expecting that.
2011.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
waiting for
Once
it.
you got to 1 and you hadn't said that yet, I was like, I bet it's Skyrim.
Yeah,
I
Skyrim.
thought I was trying to figure out if a Halo had released in this decade.
Halo 4, 5, Reach, Master Chief Collection were all released, but they were all disappointing in their own ways.
I wouldn't know. I don't be playing.
I'm
that,
just
so
letting you know why they weren't there.
cool. They're not even honorable mentions.
Yeah, you got any?
I didn't want to do honorable mentions. Like, I just want, like, there's some shit that I had to move out of the way. They're not coming to my mind right now, but there's some shit I just had to, like, delete.
Oh,
And be
okay.
like, fuck it. Damn, I wish I could think of an honorable mention right now, but it's not coming to me right now.
It's cool. I mean, you'll remember probably halfway through his list.
Yeah.
I'm trying
You
to.
better-
When you
better
get
wait,
going
nigga.
later to announce the other games, you
Right.
play,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can
all
also
that.
add
Right.
honorable mentions. Actually, speaking of honorable mentions, real quick, because like earlier, I just brought Assassin's Creed 2 because I wanted to include it, but I didn't know that we could do like a whole list of honorable mentions like BZ did, so I want to add two more. So I was actually gonna add Skyrim to my honorable mentions,
Okay.
which is why, because I was like kind of scrolling through my my Xbox app and like looking at achievements, like trying to think of games that I would have included. And like when I saw Skyrim, I was like, "Oh, Skyrim!" And then it occurred to me that you hadn't said Skyrim yet. And I was like, "I bet his number one is gonna be Skyrim." So Skyrim gets honorable mention for me, and also Assassin's Creed Liberation, which was like basically like a DLC that they did with the like black female protagonist in New Orleans, and that shit was just fire. It wasn't even like a full game, but like especially at that point, I've always been aware of the lack of like black female representation in games, and at that point it was even worse. I think that was like 2013 or some shit like that. So at that point I really wasn't seeing it, and so it meant a lot to me to be able to play as a protagonist that looks like me and like the whole like New Orleans vibe. So I just wanted to add those two to my honorable mentions before we continue.
Okay.
What you got, Willie?
All right. So my list is fairly, I guess to say some might be predictable and some you might be surprised about, but it took a while for me to, narrow it down. But these are games that I split it between 5 and 5 for PlayStation and Nintendo because I played those both companies so much. Like I didn't feel like I wanted to exclude it out. And also I went by games that I feel not only personally that I played the most, but also had a lasting impact or made me, or I felt had an impact in general on just like how, they established themselves or what they did past that. So number 10 is Bayonetta 2. Bayonetta 2, when it came out, first of all, I wasn't even that heavy into Bayonetta, but I played Bayonetta 1 right before when they announced 2 to see what it was about, and I love 1, but 2 did everything that I was annoyed with about 1, and they fixed it and made the story better. And it was a Nintendo exclusive, so it seems like they just kind of honed in and really just like revived this franchise the way that it should, or took it to the next level to the point where I wanted a 3, and we were going to get a 3, but I could not wait to get to the next Bayonetta game because the gameplay was crazy. I loved the story and the humor in it, but I also just loved the fact that the character and just everything about Bayonetta is just dope as fuck to me, and just the boss fights and the combo system and her weaponry. So yeah, Bayonetta 2 I think really just made me an instant fan, like out of a franchise that I knew about but I didn't get into until later on. So that's number 10. Number 9, surprising, Splatoon.
Damn. Okay.
I did not see that
Splatoon
coming.
did not, because and I thought about, I had to think about it. When Splatoon first came out, I was intrigued by it, but the moment I bought that game, I was hooked. I played so much Splatoon, the first Splatoon when it came out. The online system, playing online, was crazy. Playing with people, it was dope as fuck. And then just the concept of the game is you're these little squid characters and you got to paint everything, and but it's still like a third-person shooter at the same time. So all that shit combined, and then it also just like made a name for itself, and people, it started becoming competitive, and then people started to really want a sequel, and they came out when the Switch came out. It was one of the first games to get a sequel, so and the sequel was just as good too, but I got to give it to the first one because it made that
So it's like an online shooting game, right?
No, well, yeah, it has online on it.
So you
but
didn't
can
play it
shoot
online,
but I
primarily.
played the story mode, which is also pretty fun too.
Okay.
So it's a story mode. It's a full game story mode,
Yeah.
but the online is what really took it over because like you could play 4 people at a time, and you get a team, and then you go against another team, and there's different play modes and stuff like that. So if you haven't played Splatoon, it's just like a third-person, shooter, but it's like a super fun, unique version of it.
So the online wasn't trash as far as like skipping or lagging.
Nah,
or like
well,
that?
initially in the beginning, but they got that better, and now it's like flawless. It got flawless after some point, and it's really fun. I sunk a lot of hours into Splatoon, me and my brother. So number 8, another shooter, and on your list as well, Doom.
Yeah, man.
Doom was the shit. And I'm not into first-person shooters, y'all know that, but this is my favorite first-person shooter I've played in some time. That game is just so fucking fun. Mindless killing. That's all it is. And the
Fucking music's
crazy. You just get hype playing that game. Nothing more to say other than what
You
your
play
Eric
that Mike
said.
Seatown shit.
Exactly. Right. Exactly.
Man.
Number 7 goes to one that y'all might be surprised by because this is neither a PlayStation nor a Nintendo game. Cuphead. Cuphead.
I expected it.
Yeah, not surprised, but yeah, it's on there. Cuphead was just a fun ass platform game, but also just the way that they did it with the unique, old school art style. And even though it took forever for the game to come out, when it finally did come out, the game's challenging aspect to it made it like feel like one of them old school platform games that you really wanted to grind to make sure that you get it. And I just had so much fun. The boss battles were dope. The fact that it's just a boss battle game in general. The game is just strictly boss battles. That's just so much fun. And then it builds up to the ultimate boss battle when you fight the devil. And it's just a dope ass game. And I cannot wait for that DLC. Fuck that, man. That DLC, they tripping with that shit. Fuck man, I'll play it still, but I'm over it. But Cuphead was still the shit. I'm gonna give it to it. Number 6, Mario Kart 8. Mario Kart 8 is another game that I put, and I still put. Well, when I get my Switch back, but when I have my Switch, crazy hours in, and it's the only game beside Mario Kart game since Mario Kart 64 that I felt like they did it justice and they did everything right. Because I was not a fan of Double Dash and the one for Wii. I did not like those Mario Karts. So when Mario Kart 8 came out for the Wii U, I got it for the Wii U and I loved it. And then when they ported it over for the deluxe for Switch, I immediately got it because I wanted to play it on my Switch. And the game is just super fun. It reminds me of Mario Kart 64 because I could just play it endlessly over and over again and not get tired of it. So that's dope as fuck. Shout out to Mario Kart. Another game, Mario World. Number 5, Super Mario Odyssey. This is probably the best Mario game that I've played in some time. And I've played, 64, Galaxy, and Sunshine and all that shit. And I feel like Odyssey, what it did was it took all the best parts of all those games and threw it in this game and then enhanced it. I like the story. We finally found out that Peach on that bullshit with Bowser.
Oh my!
Yeah, here's the reason why. What I always thought came true in that game. What I always thought the real shit came out, and that's why I was like, yeah, that's what I fucking thought. Peach is, don't trust Peach.
Mario was like, she knows
Right.
that I own the family ice cream parlor.
Exactly. But aside from that, the gameplay is dope. The open world aspect of it is amazing. I mean, you got New Donk City, which is just like New York, and you have the desert areas. All these sorts. The dinosaur area, you can turn into a dinosaur. It's like crazy.
New Donk
City.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
And the mayor is Pauline. Y'all know about Pauline.
That sounds like a remix of that Soulja Boy song.
Hey, it might have been. It might have been. But yo, the game.
Yin Yang Twin song.
Hey, wait. It was one of the best levels though. It was fun. But the
was.
game itself was probably, like I said, one of the best Mario games that I've played in some time. And I'm not super big into like Mario games, but that one was like, I really enjoyed playing it. And if you want to see my gameplay of that, it is on my YouTube channel, Game with the Granddad. She's just hilarious. So watch that. And then number 4, we going into Batman, and I'm gonna give it like y'all, Batman Arkham City. Now I was going back and forth between Asylum and City, and I was gonna do Asylum because it was the initial one, but City just was fucking amazing. Mm-hmm. City did everything right. It wasn't too much, and boss battles were dope. I'm not too the Batmobile thing didn't mind me as much, but like I do get what you're saying with the whole being hindered by the Batmobile in other games. So this game, I feel like I'm glad. That's why.
Are you talking about Arkham Knight?
No, that's what Arkham Knight. With this game, you have to worry about that. So I see why you were mad about the whole the Batmobile shit. So with this one, I like the fact that it's not like that because I did enjoy City a lot more. So Arkham City is on there. Number 4, God of War. What else needs to be said? God of War. It's shit. Shout out to Kratos. Dad Gang. What do you know about that? Number 2, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Just like you. It is the perfect Smash game. Gets better and better. It gave me Banjo. What more else can I?
Gave me Joker.
It made dreams. This is the game that literally made dreams come true. The game made dreams come true. Not many games can do that, and it's still improving, and it's still giving. I mean, we don't know who they're gonna give us next. Like, we really don't.
I got Terry, bro.
I'm saying,
bruh.
What else? Like, come on, come on, Smash Ultimate, best Smash game ever created, probably ever will be created. I don't think they'll ever outdo this game. It really ain't. And number 1, you know what the fuck it is?
Days Gone.
Hell no!
Go ahead and say it, brother.
Holla at me on that worst drum roll again. The Last of Us, goddammit! The Last of Us. Perfect game. Perfect fucking game. The story, amazing. Everything about this game is amazing. Like, I've never been invested in a game as much as that game. The moment I picked it up to the moment I put it down, I was just immersed in that entire thing. And just like Eric said, like, it was like one of them games where like my girl at the time was like, "Yo, don't play Last of Us unless I'm watching because I got to see what's gonna happen." Because it's just so much depth into that game that you just can't not. I don't know how you can not love that game. It's on some level.
Man.
And that's why I
Tell
can't
you
wait for the
something,
second
okay?
one to come out. And I'm nervous still because I hope
Right.
it's just as good. But that game is fucking. I rarely say a game is perfect. That game, I can say without a shadow of a doubt, is perfect.
BC over here nodding his head like he in church.
You know,
like,
yeah.
yes.
Amen, brother.
Amen.
Preach, brother.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Look, that game is so fucking dope. And that was number one before I even started this list. Before this list even
Yeah,
started,
like when
it
I
was
did my
number
list,
one.
I was like, "Oh,
It was I started at one, and then I worked my way
Let me
up.
figure out what my other 9
Right,
are.
what 10 and 2 is, because
Right.
1 is already there.
One is gonna be Last of Us.
And that's what it is. So that's my 10. I got some honorable mentions, and this is where it got tough because like all these games could have literally got a spot, but I just had to really think about it. Horizon Zero Dawn, Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. Not a big Zelda fan, but I did enjoy that. It was the first game I got for my Switch. Resident Evil 7 because it actually brought
back
that horror vibe.
yeah.
Yeah. Dragon Ball Fighters. It knocked out. It went for mainly because it was an amazing fighting game, but it killed Marvel at the same time.
Yeah.
It stuck, and that was impressive as hell. Spider-Man, of course. Outlast, that was my shit.
Yeah.
Super Mario Maker, that was my shit. And Mortal Kombat. It was a tie between 9 and 11 because I feel you on 9, but 11 just from a fighting game competitive standpoint, 11 is just that's my shit.
Yeah, I forgot about Outlast. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
So that's my honorable mention. So that's why I was hard. But yeah, I'm happy with my 10.
Yeah, so Breath of the Wild was the game that I knocked off, and then I forgot what I put on here, but I was like, I gotta have I think it was Mass Effect 2. I was like, I gotta have Mass Effect 2, so I had to knock off Breath of the Wild. And I'm sure there's some other shit, but I don't care.
Bloodbath, real quick.
For the 10.
What was your top 10?
Cool. My honorable mention, I only got like one. Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Oh, yeah, I was close. I was close to picking that too. Go on.
It's my honorable mention. But number 10, Spider-Man. Just had to put it on there because I like it. It's great. My list should be pretty simple, y'all. Number 9,
Good.
I apologize for having this so low on my list.
Don't apologize for your opinion.
Right.
Oh, I already know it's going to get some dirty looks.
Okay.
Smash Ultimate.
I do what
You know, I don't give a
Okay,
shit.
you held
It
it.
ain't for
You
you.
held it.
It ain't for you.
You held it because
I held it.
when he said Smash Ultimate, it was like 4.
No, my Smash Ultimate was high. It was 2.
It was 2
Oh,
like
I
It was when
apologize.
it was when I
2.
said
Never mind.
The Last of Us.
Yeah,
It was wrong. Again, I think pretty much everybody said Arkham City. Arkham City's on my list. That's number 7. Wait, that's 8. I'm tripping. That's 8. Arkham City, like y'all all made all the points I was gonna make. It's like the best Batman. Number 7, Witcher 3. Still have not beat it, but I know that this game deserves to be on my list.
Just because the time I put into this shit.
Yeah, as long
I've been playing the game the whole damn decade. I need to.
Nah, that game is in there. Number 6. I ain't heard nobody else say this yet. The Walking Dead.
Ooh, I forgot about that.
I didn't forget.
I did forget about that.
But
But it wouldn't have made the list anyway, but it would have been an honorable
Cool
mention.
game, but yeah, definitely not a top 10 worthy.
It's one of them games where like it made me feel, and I don't
Right,
feel in very
yeah,
many
exactly.
games.
Right.
Like it had to go on the list. Number 5, Tekken 7. I played a lot of Tekken. Tekken's one of my favorite series. If you make a new Tekken, I'm always gonna like it. So number 4, I was talking about it earlier. State of Decay. That's definitely in there. State of Decay is number 4. Number 3, Red Dead Redemption.
Number 1.
Yeah, I ain't played 2 yet. I've heard 2 is boring.
Do you hear that from me?
I heard not just you, not just
Okay.
you, not just you.
It's
Not
not.
just you.
It's not boring, but it is
It's
tedious.
That's what he says.
I ain't gonna never
Tedious
forget
as
you
fuck.
put that video of that dude online.
Oh,
Just fucking dragged
Cool
your-
AIDS.
Yeah,
Yes.
fucking dragged your ass.
That was funny.
You were like, That's exactly what Eric did too. He was playing like,
There we go again.
Actually, real quick, can you tell me, like, real quick, why the first Red Dead Redemption made your list? Because I think I told y'all that story about how I was playing the first Red Dead Redemption and my 360 Red Ring, and I was so mad that I never finished the game.
You did.
It made my list
Well,
because
it's called Red Dead, so what do you think? You know?
Bars.
Right?
Bars.
That is clever.
Bars.
Dead.
I gotta give you
Red
that.
Ring. Come on now.
Don DeMarco. But yeah, it made my list, man, because like I was tired of like GTA games. Like Rockstar made something different, slightly different, I guess. It was like GTA in the Wild West, but like it wasn't GTA. It was like it was a story game. Me and my dog John Marston, we were just riding horses. I was buying new horses. I was out doing cowboy shit. I don't know why I enjoyed it so much, but I did. Like I really did. Like it was just fun. It had good mechanics, and it was just nice to be an open world game that wasn't a city. Like it was going out, going hunting, like just doing regular shit, and then like the story was good too. At least I thought it was interesting. Like you really get to see like John Marston was really about that life. Like And that's many protagonists be about that life no more, in my opinion. So that was fun.
Not many protagonists be about that life.
They don't. All right. Any other questions before I go on? I'm gonna go like 2.
Oh no, go ahead.
Continue.
Cool. My list is quick as fuck. I don't be doing no elaborating on my list. Apologize. I guess y'all already know these games by now. Number 2, Last of Us.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah.
No arguments.
Of course not. Why would we?
It's a great game.
Great.
It's great.
My number 1, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
All right.
I love Zelda. I love this game. That's all I gotta say. Zelda's one of my favorite franchises. Saw Breath of the Wild, had to play it. Here we are.
All right.
That was
Alright.
it.
Well, all right then.
I think the only weird shit on there to me is State of Decay. I would have never like
If you
not
haven't
just you,
played
but
it,
anybody. Like
you haven't played, you wouldn't
decade?
understand. Dog, I love.
I think
State of
overall,
Decay.
I think I'm pretty much. I was like, y'all list is like not surprising to me and
Yeah.
not shocking to me.
Y'all
You
pretty
gotta
much
play
kinda
State of
knew.
Decay, dog.
Yeah.
Just try it one time.
Yeah.
Do
The
one time.
only list that I really was surprised at anything was Granddad's when he
Splatoon?
like broke out Splatoon.
You ain't expect that shit, did you?
No.
Splatoon is fucking fun, y'all.
And besides,
Get on that shit.
besides Eric, was y'all surprised I didn't put RE2 remake on in my list?
I knew you wasn't. I had a feeling you wasn't because it wasn't a new game. It
Right.
was something
A
that you
remake.
played before, so
Yeah.
it was a remake. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
fuck
Real.
that shit.
I know you was,
I
just
was-
like,
I
man,
was
I'm
not. That
surprised. Yeah.
I was on
'Cause
Twitch
that's why I
last
didn't put it
night.
on. That's why I didn't consider it on mine. I just disqualified it because it's a remake. So
What you gonna say on Twitch?
No, I mean we were. I was
What
like,
you
what y'all
gonna
think they
do?
gonna pick? I was like, what y'all think they gonna pick tomorrow? We
Uh-huh.
like, we know Beezy gonna have Resident Evil 2, God of
Really?
War, Last of Us. I think I said Destiny. Which one? You said 1, right?
Yeah,
I think
that
I
was honorable
predicted.
mention.
I don't know
Yeah.
what I predicted if it was like 1 or 2 or whatever.
Mhm.
Tyler was obviously like Fallout New Vegas. I didn't know if you were gonna go multiple Fallouts. New Overwatch was gonna be there. New BioShock was gonna be there. Wooly, Last of Us, Smash.
Yeah, I know y'all was gonna have Smash.
I was kind
knew
of expecting
y'all-
fighters, but I wasn't sure.
I thought about it for a minute, but I was like, nah, I can't give it that spot.
Yeah, it's tough, man. But yeah, man, we just do what we do.
I bet they was expecting me to put a wrestling game on there, but I can't. They ain't had
2K20?
no- They ain't had no good
They had
ones.
no
From
good
from 2, was there a 2K10?
No, they started 2K12.
Okay, so
That's
nothing,
when-
no
that's-
wrestling.
None of them
games.
wrestling games is worth anything.
Before that, there was all SmackDown versus Raws. So
So no SmackDown versus Raws made.
because
Hmm.
like the last good one I remember is like 08 SmackDown versus Raw. 08 was
Oh,
pretty good.
okay.
But then like by the time it was like SmackDown versus Raw 10 and 11, they had petered off, and then 2K came in with 2K12.
Question. Since we literally have not played every game that came out in the past 10 years, what are games that you think you really want to play from 2010 to 2019 that maybe could have possibly made your list?
Can I
Yep.
interject right quick? We was talking about wrestling. I got to get this out there.
Okay.
Shouts out to Tetsuya Naito for winning the IWGP Double Championship.
Hey, I saw that. First
You saw
time
that
ever.
too?
First
My
time
dog.
ever.
I had
They,
to,
they don't know about this.
They don't
worry
watch
about it.
wrestling.
I'm with you. I'm with
you
you.
here.
I'm with you. I'm
No
here
idea.
with you.
Tetsuya Naito.
no
That's my
idea.
dog.
Naito a beast.
None.
Woo!
Congrats.
no idea.
Tenchi Muyo.
But I
very
can ask you a
racist.
question.
Very racist.
Yeah.